Hi guys, exeter-rider, hope you're doing well. So this week is a workshop based video, and it's something that we all need to do in the winter, and that is to look after our bikes and use some sort of corrosion control. So there's different ways of doing that. I use ACF-50. There is other products available such as XRP, I think it's called. I don't know much about that. I've always used ACF. I think it's certainly the most popular type of corrosion control available at the moment. Now we're going to be working on my Honda NC750X. I will also be spraying my Royal Enfield Meteor 350, and also we have the BMW on the old trickle charge at the moment. Why do we need to do this? Well, first of all, it will keep your bike in good condition, almost showroom condition after you spray it. They call it anti-corrosion formula, and that also means that it kind of reverses the aging process on bikes as well. It kind of reverses the rusting process and oxidization. So certainly in the winter months, the bikes might get a bit of condensation on them during the winter. So it's important to keep on top of that, and it will make your bike last longer, and also it lubricates everything at the same time. So how do we do it? Well, I use this gun here. It's a HVLP sprayer. Now why do I do that? Well, they do actually supply a bottle with the ACF-50 in some of the packs. I don't use that because you'll find that when you squish the stuff out of there, it's just too gloopy. It sprays too much. It's too heavily concentrated in a certain area. What we want to do is create a mist of ACF-50 going onto the bike. That's what we need to do. And there's no better way of doing that than with this HVLP spray gun here. I will leave a link in the description for a HVLP sprayer if you're looking for one, if you haven't got one already. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to wrap up the tyres and the brakes, because obviously we don't want any ACF-50 going onto them because it is almost like an oil. So we'll wrap up the tyres on this bike and before we start spraying. The bike has also had a good wash before I've started any of this. Right, change of plan. I'm actually going to be spraying the BMW because it's just easier. You also find that the ACF-50 will bring out the plastics again as well, so that will lift it back up. Sometimes what you'll find as you get nearer the bottom of this bottle is that it will get a bit more gloopy and a bit thicker and harder to spray. So what I do is I put some WD-40 into this bottle, give it a good shake, and then it loosens it up again, so it makes it a bit thinner again. So, but this is a brand new bottle, so it should come out absolutely fine there, as you can see. Now again, why do we use this HVLP sprayer? Well, first of all, it warms it up as it goes out, and also it sprays in a mist as opposed to like one of these bottles that are supplied. It chucks out so much you end up in a right mess. So I'll leave a link for a sprayer in the description. It's quite noisy, but you can see it there, look. See the spray coming out? Not sure if you can. The thing with this as well is that you can get into the really difficult places where you never get with a rag. That's how a lot of people do this actually. They just use a rag. There's nothing you shouldn't really spray with this, so just go for it. And it's so much quicker as well. It's better, quicker, easier, and does a better job when you spray it like this. The good thing is you can spray right up inside there as well, where the fuel tank is. Gets everything lubricated as well. The gear shifter here, get that done. And all this horrible bit down here, which has seen better days anyway. Now I'm doing this in the garage with the window open, but normally you need to be outside doing this. I'm only doing it like this because I'm filming, but you need some ventilation. If you have a swing arm, then get right down in there, all right? That's normally where bikes will often rot, is on swing arms. I'll get right in there, Again, that took no time at all. Much better way of doing it than what it would be with using one of those other squishy bottles. Oops, wrong button. I've turned the lights off. That one, idiot. And there we go. Literally takes a minute, really. If I didn't have the camera and filming and talking, then I could have done it a lot quicker. But it takes no time whatsoever. And all we've done is gone over in a fine mist. And over the next week, that will all turn into a lovely crisp, well, make the bike look like new, basically. So I normally spray my bikes a few times a year, normally when there's something going on, like a ride out or a show or whatever. Again, it's getting into all those hard to reach places that you never would with a rag. And the way that this distributes out the gun means that it's actually actively blowing out the ACF-50, so you can, well, as you can see, you know, it'll go a long way if you want it to. Looks after all the nuts and bolts as well in between time. Find when you first restart the bike that it will be covered in ACF-50 on the exhaust and manifold and all that. So wherever it gets hot, it will start to smoke, but nothing to worry about, perfectly normal. Into all the electrical wiring, which again, it won't do any harm at all. Up onto the switch gear and around there, onto the plastics. Bring that back to life again. In here, around to the other side again. Get right in there, around all the cables. I'm actually probably spraying this on thicker than I normally would, but it's only because I'm trying to talk and do everything at the same time. Onto the side stand, onto the pegs. Get in there, squish. Take that. And there you go, that is the bike's ACF-50. Now, as you can see already, that is pretty much how it's going to turn out a week later when all the oil is wiped off. And, well, you don't need to wipe it off really, it'll just come off itself. So, big difference already. Over here we have the NC. Again, I've gone too thick on this, but it's purely because I was filming. So it's a lot more difficult to do this when you're filming and trying to think of what to say and everything else. So for other areas which are a bit close to the knuckle, such as your calipers, what you can do is get a bit of ACF, put it on a rag and then just wipe over that the best that you can. That's the best way to do that. But at least I know the bikes are protected now over the colder winter months, away from the condensation and stuff like that. So you don't really need to wipe it off, but over time, maybe the next week or whatever, I might just give it a wipe off of the residue that's on there now. But it's a great way of doing it. Like I say, get yourself an HVLP sprayer. It makes every bit of difference. Look how much I've used, look. I've hardly used anything. If I was using that via this spray bottle, I would have used a lot more. And yeah, I mean, a bottle like that would probably last me 3 years of doing all the bikes 3 times a year. Yeah, 2 or 3 years, that'll last me easy. So yeah, get yourself some of that. Get yourself an HVLP sprayer. You can use a compressor, but a compressor does cough out cold air, and don't forget there's a lot of moisture in compressors as well, which will defeat the object. So get yourself one of these. It puts a lovely mist out onto the bikes, and it's the best way of doing it. And to be honest, this cost me about £70, and I reckon it's paid for itself 5 times over already, just owning it for a few years, 2-3 years, spraying the ACF-50. So there you go, thanks very much for watching. Got any questions, put them into the comments and I will make sure that I ask them. And ask them, I'll make sure that I'll answer them. That's better. Right, thanks for watching, see you next week. Cheers.